Hi, this is 365801 and this is a Buzzword 2023 Reading Challenge TBR and recommendations video. So in 2021, I tried to make a video every month for each of the different buzzword prompts. I did actually start this video a couple months ago, but it's been a while, so I thought I would actually finish the editing process. This is all about the Buzzword Reading Challenge that Kayla from Books and Lala has been running for now, onto its third year. She did have the Buzzword Readathons. Every once in a while she would do one, but for the past 3 years now we've had this different setup where every month is a different buzzword, and the challenge is to do it throughout the year. So for January, the buzzword is life and death. Once again, and as usual, I would say go and head on over to Kayla's channel, Books and Lala, and watch the video. I will put a link in the description and in the corner, and you can get all of the recommendations that she gives for each of the different months. So if you're looking for January's, she'll give you lots of different recommendations that have either life or death or living or dead or just anything kind of related. But I think those are the only ones. You can also get hold of the different visuals that will help you to post on social media if you're creating your TBR, or if you're just working your way through it throughout the year. The first thing that I usually do is to go to my spreadsheet, which I haven't updated in a wee while, so there might be some missing, but hopefully not. But I actually found one and read in January La Vie en Rose, which was a little bit different because it's in French. La Vie en Rose does have life in the title, so I was able to read that one first in January. I have a whole reading vlog of some of these buzzword reads on my Patreon channel, so if you're interested, go check out my Patreon. There's a link in the description. For $1 a month, you can get Patreon exclusives and early access to all the videos that go on my channel. So yeah, La Vie en Rose is one that I do want to include in this recommendations video, although it doesn't come up because I didn't actually search for the word life in French. Now with my spreadsheet, we can see that the first one that comes up is Apple and Honey, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 2 has His Rose-Colored Life, and this is by Hideyoshiko. I have this, they're both still got their plastic on, so I haven't read them. I definitely want to read them this year. It's kind of a difficult one to get hold of if you are trying to find one. Hideyoshiko has amazing artwork and amazing style, and I do think we need to have more Hideyoshiko in English licensed properly. It's really good that we have Apple and Honey, but I do think we need to have more. So His Rose-Colored Life is one that I definitely want to read sometime this year. The next one that comes up is Ninth Life Love. This is Lalako Kojima, another June manga title, which I have recently brought up to this collection so I can actually read it. So during this year, that is one that I definitely want to. I have no idea what this is about, but it looks super cute. So I'm going to give it a wee go. It is one of those ones that was published around the 2010, 2011, 2012 period, so they are a little bit harder to get hold of. So yeah, keep an eye out if you're interested in this one. On to a 70s title, and that is The High School Life of a Fudanshi by Atami Michinoku. This is a 5-volume series. It's about a Fudanshi, that is a boy who likes to read BL and all things BL, and what he gets up to at his school, and all of the people that he knows and the friends that he makes in the sort of BL community. There is a little bit of, I have to say, like, I don't know, it might be questionable for some people, certainly, about some of the representation, but Atami Michinoku is kind of known for doing some of their work involving cross-dressing or people who work in sex industry and things like that. So there might be some issues there, but I actually find it really interesting and entertaining. I really like this, and I have a review video, so I'll put a link to that one as well. The next one I have is Wild Wild Wildlife by Hyogo Kijima. This is a Kuma title, so it's pretty great in terms of the quality of the paper, the quality of the binding, the extra outside, everything about it from Kuma is great, other than the story. I really don't like it. Wild Wild Wildlife is not one that I'm actually recommending, but it is one that has life in the title. Hyogo Kijima has some more outdated, I think, tropes in this one. That's not to say that it's terrible or bad, it's just one that I didn't personally enjoy. Some of the stories I found a little bit more like porn without plot, and that's not necessarily what I'm looking for right now. But if that's your bag, that's a recommendation for you. On to DMP. This is Flower of Life by Fumi Yoshinaga. It is unfortunately a 4-volume series, and I only have the first 3. The 4th volume is incredibly difficult to get hold of, and it's even more difficult to get hold of it for a good price. So I'm kind of just deciding that like maybe I don't ever get it, but I don't want to read it until I have the 4th volume so that I can actually read the whole thing, because I think reading the first 3 and then never knowing what happens is kind of depressing. This is one that I have. I'm not entirely sure if it is like a BL or BL-esque one. I have no idea. I just know that it's Fumi Yoshinaga and it's in my collection. So yeah, it's one that I wish I could recommend, but unfortunately, if you don't and can't get volume 4, it's going to be unfinished for many of us. Now, when I looked for Death, for Life and Death, I didn't get anything other than Deathko Kotorino, who is the author or the mangaka of Author's Pet, so I had to look for Dead instead. The one that comes up first of all is Deadlock. This is Saki Aida and Yu Takashina. Saki Aida is the author, Yu Takashina is the artist, and this is a 4-volume manga series by Jine Manga. They have just recently published the 4th volume was it in December? I got it in January. Because I'm in the UK, so everything's a month late. And I did do a buddy reading vlog with Katie in January, so I'll put a link to that. I'm not saying I'm going to recommend this, but I am saying that I read it and it was very pretty. The art style is lovely. But yeah, Deadlock is one that has dead in the title. The next one that has dead in the title is Otodama, Voice from the Dead, or Voice of the Dead. This is by Yoka Nita. It's a Doki Doki publication. There are 2 volumes. I'm not sure, is there a 3rd in Japanese? There might be. There might be. It might be one of those that's the one. I don't know. I have only read volume 1. I have not read volume 2 yet. I have a volume 2. It's still in its plastic, so that's one that I could certainly read. I do remember Otodama and the plot. I still remember it, even though it's been absolute ages since I read it last. I think I read it for a manga freakathon. So yeah, it's one that I would like to read the 2nd volume of, and so that I can actually tick that off as a series complete, which is something that I'd like to do this year. So yeah, this is definitely one that could go on my TBR. So the next one that has dead in the title is Boys of the Dead. This is by Tomita Doji. This is another Kuma title, so obviously it's going to have fantastic quality. This is one I have not read. I kind of plan on reading it for October, you know, Halloween. Probably if there's another manga freakathon, I will put that in there. So I don't necessarily need to read them straight away, but they are ones that I'd like to read this year. And Boys of the Dead is definitely going to get read at some point this year. I want some BL zombies, for sure, for sure. Now, after I had tried Life, Death, Dead, I thought I would try Living or Live, and I came across Living for Tomorrow. This is another Doki Doki title. This is by Taishi Zhao. I'm not sure if I've actually ever read this. There's a few of these titles that have Taishi Zhao or Eki Eki as the illustrator, but this one is actually a manga. I, for the longest time, thought this was a yaoi novel because there are a few Doki Doki yaoi novels. So this one, Living for Tomorrow, or is there Doki Doki yaoi novels? I don't know. Anyway, I thought this was a novel. It's not, it's a manga. So yeah, Living for Tomorrow is definitely one that I can read. It's nice to be able to bring up a few more of these Doki Doki titles that I own, and put them into this collection and give them a read for this year. Now the other one that had Live in the title was Live for Love, another June manga title. This one's an older June manga title. It's by Jun Mayama, Itsuki Sato, and I did read this already earlier in the year. When did I read it? And what did I read it for? I think it was for... Was it for the Bonbon Readathon or was it for the Manga Love Readathon? Now I can't remember because I've actually done quite a few readathons this year. But I have already read it and it was trash. It was so bad. So yeah, it's not one that I particularly recommend. If you can get a hold of a copy for literally a couple of pounds, then maybe give it a go. But I will try and put the link to that readathon vlog, whatever one it was, and let you know. Because honestly, it's only been a few weeks and I can't remember, other than knowing that it was trash. I think it was about a guy who worked... Yeah, he was from a rich family, but he worked as like detective type thing. It was... Yes, there was assault. It was not good. It was not good. So that was everything that I have in physical format. I also went to Renta. I put in just life or death, and there were quite a few titles. There was about 28 titles for life, and quite a few of them I actually do recognise and I wouldn't mind reading, but like I've said, for every single one, I don't necessarily want to go out my way to purchase anything unless I'm struggling to find something to read for the prompt, and that's not necessarily the case. The death ones as well, there's not very many, I think it was just 4. So yeah, you can go over to Renta and just do this on Renta if you are someone who uses Renta quite often. I went to the June manga site and they pretty much just had the same ones again, not very many different ones that you could also get on Renta. So there's a couple. Rose Colored Life, for example, that was an interesting one, but not very many. And also a Death Wish as well. That was kind of one. Then of course I went over to Futekia, and on Futekia I found The Strange Tale of the Life Draining Spectre, which seems certainly interesting and a bit spooky. So that is definitely something I'd like to do. The Life of an Author. This is by Tokokasi, and I did say at the end of last year that I want to read all of Tokokasi because the art style and the way that they write their stories definitely appeals to me. It's a kind of, I don't know, the one that I read, Midnight Bookstore, was it Bookstore? Something like that. And it's just so good. It just ticked all my boxes. So yeah, Tokokasi is one that I definitely would like to read more from. And then there is one that I've already read, Unfazed by the Disaster in My Life, by Shimiji. And I've already read it, so I don't need to read it again, but it is a really good story. It's very adult, about 2 older men around 40, and I love stories with older men kind of coming across and finding like a sexual awakening at that age. It's just, oh, chef's kiss. And the 2 grown-up men have to kind of negotiate their life and the changes in their life. It's really good. I highly recommend that one. Then another one that looks quite good is Life in Our Hometown with Me and You. This is Isino Aya, and it looks very adult as well. It looks very mature in theme. So definitely one that I would like to maybe give a wee read of. Now, I definitely had a bit of trouble trying to find death or anything else, but I did find Dead, and one that is Undead, and this is by Tsuyu Hisafumi, which is, I think, another another zombie BL one, which is kind of like, they're like buses. You don't get anything for years, and then boom, they all come out at once. I think there's a couple of others that have like dead or zombie stuff in them as like one-shot chapters. But this one has it in the title, and that's the whole point of the Buzzword Readathon, is to read the ones. So undead as well. So there is quite a few on Futekia. And that is something that I think I would like to maybe do going forward, is something that I wanted to do last year and the year before as well. It was like, can I just do a reading vlog just using Futekia? Because I want to use my subscription, especially now with all of the changes they're suggesting. I want to be able to access all of these works, read them, and do some sort of review and make sure that I'm making the most out of my subscription. I want to read them all. And having themes like the buzzword or a tag is a good way of doing that. And so I might do the same thing again like I did at the end of the year, which is, did I complete the buzzword using just Futekia? And so that would be a really nice way to do it. So I could definitely do that by reading some of the titles from Futekia that I've shown you. So on to all of the books that you can see in front of you. I have arranged them into piles of read and unread. So Live for Love I already read this year in 2023. Love Young Rose as well. I have already read High School Life of Danchi, and as I said, I did a review video of it. Deadlock I also read this year in January. I have a reading vlog for that with my buddy Read with Katie. It was horrendous. I read Wild Wild Wildlife last year, I think. I can't remember if it was for the 30 in April or the 30 in November, or if it wasn't for 30, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I didn't really enjoy that either. And Otodama was for Manga Freakathon. So really, I've got to say, like, having reasons to read these things definitely helps. So on the other side, I've got the ones that I haven't read yet. I don't think I will be reading Flower of Life until I can see if I can get a volume 4. Boys of the Dead will be read in the October, like I mentioned. So I could definitely read the other ones. I could read the other Otodama. But like I said, that I read Otodama volume 1 around October for Manga Freakathon. So I could leave Otodama as well with Boys of the Dead. And then Living for Tomorrow, Ninth Life, Love? Love Life, and the Apple and Honey. Those are ones I could definitely read before then. So these are like my TBR, but it's kind of a TBR for the whole of 2023. I'm not limiting myself to reading in the first week. I'm not limiting myself to reading within the month. So I am just like, hey, for 2023, these are the ones that you're going to try and read. And I'm also just saying, hey guys, these are some you could read if you want to take part in the Buzzword Readathon during 2023. It's a year-long reading challenge. You can do it month by month, but I'm just saying, hey, if you want to, here's some. And you don't need to read them all. You could just read one and then move on to the next video, wherever that is. So yeah, this is my sort of TBR-esque, but certainly more of a recommendations video for this particular buzzword for the reading challenge of 2023, January, life and death as the themes. So yeah, I hope you found this useful or interesting. Let me know if you have read any of these, or if by watching this video you now plan to read some of these. I always like to find out if I have actually helped someone find something that they liked, or helped them avoid something that they know they're not going to like, or even better, help them find something that they know they're going to dislike. I love hearing about people being like, that sounds like trash, I need to read it now. So yeah, any and all of the above. So yeah, hopefully you found this interesting. Remember to go and check out Kayla's channel and obviously her announcement video. It's so good, and hopefully you'll be able to see some more of these videos from me over the next few months. So yeah, hopefully I'll get them all done. But yeah, this is just for January. These are my recommendations. What's available, hopefully be adding more. So yeah, take care guys. I'm 365801. I make videos about BL, manga, yaoi, mail, romance, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.